What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about the best closers in the NBA playoffs. Let's get into it. Kawhi is one of the most efficient mid-range shooters in the league, up there with guys like Kevin Durant and DeMar DeRozan. He likes to post up and take turnaround jumpers similar to MJ and Kobe, and it seems like even when he is 100% smothered, he could still make them. In the playoffs last year, the Raptors heavily relied on Kawhi closing out games for them. I remember in certain series, Kawhi was taking almost every shot in the last couple minutes of the game because he was so efficient. He had one of the best playoff runs in recent history and was the closer of nearly every game. Now we can look at the clutch time numbers from NBA.com, which take into account the shots a player takes when the game is within 5 points in the last 5 minutes of that game. Based on the 2019 playoffs, Kawhi shot 13 for 33 from the field, 4 for 13 from 3, and 18 for 22 from the line. He attempted the most shots in clutch time out of any player from that playoffs. Yes, he only shot about 40% from the field and 30% from 3, but when talking about clutch time numbers, those are actually above average. And in his defense, he shot 81% from the line when it mattered the most. For reference, in the same playoffs, Steph had the second most attempts in clutch time and shot 29% from the field and 33% from 3 on fewer attempts, meaning that Kawhi took more shots than Steph and was more efficient. I also should mention that he won Finals MVP this year, largely in part due to his ability to close out close games and his lockdown defense. Overall, Kawhi has solidified himself as one of the best closers in the game. Now moving on to the next player, we have LeBron James. LeBron's ability to close games and hit clutch shots has been questioned throughout his career, but he continues to doubt the haters wrong. When he needs to, he is capable of barreling his way to the rim and finishing through contact or drawing a foul. Obviously, he isn't an amazing free throw shooter, which definitely plays a big role in being a great closer, but he hits them at a decent enough rate. On top of that, being a closer doesn't just mean you take every shot. Sometimes the right play is kicking out to a teammate that is wide open for a corner three. While LeBron has been slandered for deferring at times when he shouldn't, I think it's important to look at the actual numbers and see how efficient he is during clutch time or the last 5 minutes of a close game. Since the Lakers didn't make the playoffs last year, largely due to LeBron missing games and sitting out the rest of the season, I have to look at his clutch time numbers in the playoffs from 2 seasons ago, which is the last time the Warriors won a ring. Now, I'm not going to get into the circumstances surrounding the playoffs, but let's just say LeBron played great and had little to no help. In the 2018 playoffs, LeBron took by far the most shots in clutch time. He shot 15 for 26 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and 13 for 17 from the line. These numbers were the most efficient for any player from that playoffs, and it wasn't really close. He shot 58% from the field, 44% from 3, and 76% from the line on similar attempts to Kawhi in 2019. When compared to Kevin Durant, the Finals MVP of this season, he only shot 30% from the field, 33% from 3, and 86% from the line. However, this was on half the attempts LeBron took, probably because the Warriors didn't play that many close games. Clearly, these numbers and what we see LeBron do at the end of games prove that he is one of the best closers in the playoffs and can elevate his game when he needs to. Moving on to the next player, we have Damian Lillard. Dame has solidified himself as a deadly deep-range shooter who is capable of stepping up when it matters most. He has proven that he can hit tough shots in clutch time, and we have seen his crazy game-winning shots, such as his sidestep to send Russ and PG home last year. Dame's ability to shoot from 30+ feet stretches the floor so much that his teammates are constantly wide open on the perimeter, and it also gives them plenty of room to accelerate by slower defenders and finish at the rim. Although he is not as efficient as Steph is, I would argue that he's a much better closer. When looking at the numbers, it shows that while Steph was able to take more attempts in clutch time, Dame was by far more efficient because that is when he plays his best. This isn't me saying that Steph isn't clutch because he obviously has clutch moments. I just think Dame is a more consistent closer than Steph is. For Dame, the numbers I am looking at are from the 2019 playoffs when the Blazers got swept in the conference finals. Dame shot 9 for 21 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and 9 for 11 at the line. He took the third most shots in clutch time during these playoffs, only behind Kawhi and Steph. He hit 43% of his field goals, 40% from 3, and 86% from the line. These numbers are among the best in the league on that many attempts in clutch time during the playoffs. The only players that were more efficient than Dame were guys that took very few attempts, and Jamal Murray, who seems to be proving himself as a top tier closer in the league as well. Overall, I think watching Dame hit 30+ foot bombs at the end of close games and his efficiency is enough to prove that he is one of the best closers in the league. Clearly, there are other guys in the league that can close games, but I think LeBron, Kawhi, and Dame are among the best. If I want to mention a few more guys, I would talk about Jimmy Butler's ability to up his game in the playoffs and get to the line at the end of close games. Butler's a great free throw shooter and an amazing leader for whatever team he plays for. Another great closer that I left off the top 3 is James Harden. His ability to create his own shot, draw fouls, and finish at the rim are among the best in the league. And when it comes to clutch time, he can close out games as well. In the past 2 playoffs, he's among the top 5 in attempts in clutch time and hits them at a similar rate that Kawhi did in the 2019 playoffs. The only reason I left him off the top 3 was because in 2018, his clutch time shooting wasn't as nearly as efficient as it was in 2019. I think the most surprising player I found is efficient during clutch time is Jamal Murray. He's a great young player that has many offensive skills, but is not someone I would expect to be able to close games like he does. In the 2019 playoffs, Murray was among the best closers in the league. He shot 47% from the field on 17 attempts, 33% from 3 on 6 attempts, and 10 out of 10 from the line. These numbers prove that he's capable of playing his best basketball when it matters most, something that will be very important for the Nuggets in the future. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subbed yet, be sure to do so and turn on notifications. Let me know who you think is the best closer in the NBA playoffs, and be sure to like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.